Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Chris.
I'm Audra.
I'm Tony.
This is Jax. I'm Cherie.
We have a different co-host with us tonight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jack is covering for Ron and Lois.
Kind of looks like Ron.
It's his 1 year birthday.
It
Happy
is.
birthday, Jax.
Aww.
Yes. Just
Puppy.
say, hi, happy birthday. All right. Okay. Serious now. Oh, sorry.
So for everybody watching, Ron and Lourdes unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. They spent all weekend at Lilydale doing Staticon.
Tired. Yep.
They're a little tired, and Tony kept them up. Hey, puppy. Tony kept them up till about 3 o'clock our time last night, and then they had to drive home from Lilydale this morning. So
Almost 3:30. I think it was like 3:20 his time because it was
Oh my
12:20 when I went to bed. So 3 hour time difference. We did Paranormal Soup podcast. They wanted to talk about Staticom and like a 2.5 hour show. So good thing he had a long drive today. That couldn't have been easy, but I'm sure they're exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, poor guys.
So Lourdes reached out to us right before the show and said, Ron, they've just gotten home, and Ron fell asleep the minute he hit the couch.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Scott, let's get this party started. And for those of you that have never seen Ron and Lourdes do investigations, they are always the last people to leave.
They are.
Yeah, they are. Try doing a 4-day, 4-mansion tour with them. The earliest I think we got to bed was like 4, right? Because then it went to 5 and then 6, and the last night was like 7 a.m.
Nope.
Yeah.
Us doing our 2 days of mingling till 5 a.m. when you guys were here. That was tough too.
I hope everybody had a great 4th of July.
Absolutely.
And make sure before you barbecued, before you drank the beers, before you burned the neighbor's house down with fireworks, I hope you took a minute to remember those that fought dearly to give us our freedom and to establish this country in 1776 and give us our independence.
Yep.
It's nothing better to celebrate than that.
Absolutely. Agree.
So, what did you guys do last weekend?
We
Packed.
cleaned, made trips to Goodwill. We
Wait. What's the we?
I did a little editing, final editing. All done, complete.
No, you said packing. I think it's just me and Jonica doing the packing.
No,
Yeah.
I sorted big boxes in the garage that I have no idea what's in them.
Oh my God, that's a
I
lot.
did a lot. So we're doing really good sorting, cleaning, and either donating, selling, or chucking. I sold a trailer that has been sitting in the garage for I don't know how many years. But we did sell that over the weekend.
Yeah,
so
but we are so excited.
we are.
Not
are
as
so
excited
excited.
as we are. So for everybody that doesn't know that's watching, Tony, Cherie, and Audra and I have been friends for 6 years now. Going on 6 years?
Yeah. Yep.
6 years. We met doing an investigation at the Birdcage together in Tombstone. Yeah. Found out that we were staying at the same B&B in Tombstone, and then found out we lived in the same damn city.
Right.
apart, and
Right.
we were all paranormal investigators. And Tony and Cherie started EVPI many, many, many years ago. Had invited us to join them, and then we all used to do investigations and run the Phelps Dodge Mining Hospital together. And so for us to get them over here into North Carolina with us is huge.
So excited.
This is
that's going to be awesome. And when we went to the birdcage, I could not decide what equipment I wanted to take. So I literally took it all on a handheld contraption. And first thing after we met Chris and Audra, Sheree says to me, yeah, Audra came up to me and said, Chris goes, look at that guy. We need to talk to him.
All the equipment.
Oh, there was equipment. You couldn't even see me behind it. There was equipment everywhere.
Y'all, I have 3 monitors sitting in front of me, and they're each 20-inch monitors. The equipment Tony was holding that night at the birdcage were bigger than the monitors sitting in front of me. Right
exactly.
I'm surprised Tony doesn't have arms 3 times the size of mine.
Wait, Chris, what's funny is every time we started investigation, all those equipment, he has to turn it on and then it's going to turn off. He's like, wait, what happened? How is this possible?
All right, it's like a 20-minute fix to turn stuff on and off because I had like 4 different cameras on there, 3 different recorders, EMF meters. I don't even know what else was there.
You don't want to investigate with Tony.
They have many times.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
Y'all, let me teach you something about Tony. When we would go down to Phelps Dodge, just the 4 of us to do an investigation, because we could go anytime. We all had keys. We could go anytime we wanted to. I would pull up. We had a truck. We still have a truck. We would have 3 little cases of equipment. Because Audra and I don't use a whole lot of equipment. We've talked about it on the show. Tony, it would take all 4 of us about 30 minutes just to unload Tony's car.
Yeah.
And he only brought half his shit.
You should have seen, and we actually took the car, but we jammed that thing. Trunk, you could barely close it. The back seat was filled to the roof when we did the Queen Mary for 4 days. Oh my God. We had to take in those big rolling carts. We had to take 3 or 4 trips.
In a small car.
And then everybody's like, did you bring a bus? And they're like, you got all that in there? I'm like, yep.
Y'all, Tony and Sheree drive a Nissan Altima.
Right.
Big trunk space.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny. But we are excited to get these 2 to the East Coast, and not as excited as, because then after they made us a part of EVPI, which Southern Entities, which is Audra and I, is a part of EVPI when we moved here.
Extension of that.
Yes,
an extension of EVPI. Now, Ron and Lourdes have been with us for going on 3 years on the show. We've met them a few times. You guys met them in New York. We met them in the Bash. We've all been in North Carolina together now. All of us will be on the East Coast. So all of EVPI, which is EVPI, Southern Entities Paranormal, and Cognac, will all be on the East Coast. So if y'all think you haven't seen the end, if you've seen the end of this, it's only the beginning. Only the beginning.
So
that is true.
Very excited. And we miss them very much tonight. Lourdes said, love you guys. Sorry we're not there. You guys look good, by the way. She's lying, but thank you. Anyway, Lourdes.
That's you too, poor guys.
All right.
Well, I guess you guys are wondering why you came tonight.
Well, we have a very lovely lady joining us tonight.
Yes, we do. A very special guest. Good friend of Ron. We are bringing in Jennie COLLUCCI. Jennie's a paranormal investigator and the team historian for ParaSight Investigations based out of New Jersey and New York.
Woo.
What you got to say about that? Hey, y'all, this girl went to Rutgers and has multiple degrees in chemistry, physics, and foreign languages.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Everybody, say hello to Jennie.
Hey, Miss Jennie.
Hey, Miss Jennie.
Hey.
Hi, thanks for making me sound smart.
You are smart.
You are smart.
Sakes, I don't want to be in the same room with you now.
No. Chemistry, physics, and foreign languages. You make all the guys on the Big Bang Theory look dumb.
I can be nerdy in several languages. Trust
So-
me on that.
Jennie works with a pretty good group of guys. We've had Frankie, Adao on, Anthony, who we can't say his name because he's a cop. But she also works with Anthony M.
Anthony M.
However, she's been investigating for over 30 years. Jennie, tell us how you got hooked on the paranormal.
Actually, I think I'm the opposite of most people, right? Everyone has an experience when they're young. How often do you hear that, right? Like, I had an experience when I was younger. Here was my experience when I was younger. I told everyone, there's no monster under your bed. Let me look in your closet. There's nothing in there. Go to bed. I was the one who said, no, there's no such thing as ghosts. And then I sort of got involved that way. Like, let me help you not be scared. So it's sort of a different way in. But that's, I was 5 years old telling my siblings, like, there's no monster under your bed. Go to bed.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Do you think that would have changed your course of action had you said, there's nothing in the closet, and you open the door and full apparition standing there? You think that might have maybe changed the path?
No. I think I would have said, you go to bed too. Like,
Just curious.
no.
Just
I
curious.
was just the oldest, of 4 children. So I would, anyway. So, and then later on, I really didn't think about it again. And then later on, my mother, who's an avid reader, said, I have this local author I want you to read. And I said, okay. And it turns out he was a historian and a paranormal investigator. And he bought a museum in Rochester, New York called Valentine. You may have heard of it. It's been investigated on Ghost Hunters, some other shows.
Heard it, yeah.
They've been to Valentine, the museum, and he actually owns it. His name is J. Sheldon Fisher, and he was just a great writer. And I thought, what's this paranormal investigating stuff? Let me get into that. So that's how it started. So I went to Valentine, and I was hooked.
Oh, cool.
That's fantastic. So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you started out that way. What's your perception now?
Everyone asks me that. And Anthony M., who we can't use his last name, or we have to kill you and then investigate you. We always say that. He always says, Jennie, you're not a skeptic anymore. Now you're just a critical thinker. So I think that's the change. I'm much more of just a critical thinker than a complete skeptic.
That's awesome.
Makes sense.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I
It
think I
does.
kind of dodged it a little bit.
No, it answers the question a lot because being sensitive and also being data-driven and fact-based, because I'm ex-law enforcement, sometimes I conflict with myself. And that's where the situational awareness comes in, because I might sense things, but at the same time, I'll go, wait a minute, is it the floor? Is the floor a little bit off? That off-kilter feeling that some people feel in a room. It's like, it's the floor.
That fun house thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're lucky because you have 2 things in one person. I rely on other people. Like, I rely on sensitives in our group. So it takes 2 of us to do your one job that you do. So
Thank you.
awesome.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is. It is. No, you're very fortunate. I literally will say, okay, what do you feel in this room? Or where should I go? Or that type of thing to the more sensitive in the group.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is way awesome.
It's nice to have two viewpoints for sure.
That's right.
Definitely. And I think we're big Hans Holzer fans, and Frankie's a big Hans Holzer fan, and he loves the idea of using the medium and then using the science.
Yep.
Really. And the first thing I said to him is, look, I believe in science needs to meet sensitivity in the middle in this type of field. And he was like, sold.
Yeah. One of our favorite shows was Dave Schrader's Holzer Files.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When they would review old cases from the Holzer
Exactly.
Files, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, that was a good show, but I loved the beginning when they had the actual recordings of the medium.
Yes.
I mean, did you just all get chills during
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Like Ethel and
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time. that creeped me out for sure.
Well, and how accurate she was, and everybody back then thought she was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And now we use those methods all the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
we don't even
But-
know we're using them.
it shows you, a lot of people complain about what the movement of paranormal TV did, but it literally opened the doors to make it acceptable. And, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, people were keeping that under the table. They didn't mention it. They didn't say it. Today, you can say it without recourse, and nobody, you might get a strange look or something, but it's not. Totally different world today.
Exactly.
Thankfully.
Exactly.
Well, we have Paranormal Investigator on the back of our truck, and it sparks more conversations in parking lots than you would imagine.
I can't go to a wedding because everybody comes up to me like, "Tell me about your last investigation. What did you see? What happened?" Like,
it's good to see the interest.
Congratulate the bride and groom, please. Really. And then the bride and groom are like, "What's it like to be a paranormal investigator?" I'm like, "Oh, come on."
We do the same thing. I have an interesting story this weekend, or actually last week. So I have friends from high school that I used to drag to haunted locations when I was in high school because I love chasing after what I felt and what I saw. And I have friends from high school today that'll go, "We knew you would end up doing that crap. We knew you would end up doing." Yeah, and I actually had a lady reach out to me on Facebook. A friend of mine from high school married another friend of mine from high school, and one of her friends had an experience at her parents' house and caught an EVP, and she sent it to me because my friend from high school referred her to me. She reached out to me. She might be watching the show, and wanted to get what I thought about her EVP and some of the another location that her and her husband owned. She actually sent me. We did a couple remote reads for him to see what we picked up, and
that's amazing.
It was pretty neat.
The connections that you make in this field are like no other that I've experienced.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The field has advanced so much; it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice I get to be here with you guys because I know Ron and Lourdes, really well. Yeah. So I get to meet you guys now. And like I said, I talk to you guys every Monday night, but you don't hear me. So now you
it's great to have you on, Jennie.
Yeah.
It's very great to have you on.
I'm so glad to actually be here. Yeah. I'm here every Monday, but now I'm really here.
Yeah, now you're actually physically here. Well, kind of. Physically kind of here.
Sort of, kind of.
Thank God for the internet.
You guys have an exceptional relationship, and it reminds me a lot of mine with Anthony and Frankie. People I think are shocked to know how much we talk. I mean, we pretty much text all day, every day. Yeah. Don't tell our bosses. No, we really do. We're constantly communicating every day. And if we don't, we're like, "Is Frankie okay? Where is he?" Kind of thing. Yeah. And we kind of read each other's minds. So it's amazing, what kind of, we really are in sync all the time. So you're so lucky to meet somebody like that, right? I mean, the six of you are like that. And we laugh like you two, like you guys do. We laugh and laugh and laugh. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It just makes life fun.
Yeah.
It is. It's total fun. And it's funny you say that because we have a Facebook chat between the six of us.
Okay.
That, like in Messenger, that has probably been going on for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Tony and Ron have a separate chat, and then us and Tony and Bree have a separate chat, and it's pretty cool.
Exactly. We have a flock chat, and we all day,
Yeah, and it's an open line of communication, which is just so nice to have. Mm-hmm. So it works well.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, who would think it? We have a police officer, and Frankie's a therapist, a psychologist, and me, and it's just funny, the connections. It's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. We have a great team.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Adao's a good dude. Like him a lot.
Yeah.
And it's hot in here.
Is it?
I'm sweating.
It's
hot flashes,
well,
Sheree.
They're in Phoenix.
It's not that hot in here, trust me. Last night, I literally had to raccoon myself into the comforter. It was that cold.
I am freaking sweating, seriously.
Sorry, baby.
Wait till you get to the East Coast. You add some of that humidity into the air conditioning, and
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Unless you're like my husband. I came home early the other day. The garage door was open from the house to the garage because that's his workout room. And I walk in, it's freezing in the house. And I'm like, why is the door open? It's 75 degrees in the house. He's like, why it's cool in the garage. Like, no.
Y'all, you can ask Tony and Cherie. They've been here now. I have a whole gym in my garage, and I work out 2 hours every other day.
Okay.
Because you can't tell that by looking at me, but
Stop. You want to have a picture like Ron, right? You want to have that Popeye picture like Ron.
yeah, with this nice reps flexing.
Yeah.
And it was 96 degrees last week and humid as hell. So I left the garage door open, and I didn't know she was coming home early. I usually have the garage door closed by the time she gets home, so I don't get yelled at. But she busted me.
I did.
That's
Anyway,
we were at Wilson Castle this weekend, and it was hot. It was hot. Even in Vermont, it was hot. But when you walk into a place like that and you can't open the windows, the windows are, 10 feet tall. I don't even know how you open the windows. It was like a wall walking in, and I thought this is going to be a long night, just like instant melting, But I thought it's going to be Vermont. It'll be nice. So,
Oh, yeah.
The mountains. No. It was brutal. We've all been there. 3rd floor of a closed up castle.
Mm-hmm.
Or the underside of a ship that in July.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
So we did with History of a Haunting podcast, Carrie and
Laura.
No, Laura wasn't there. We did Piedmont Paranormal was with us. We did the USS North Carolina in Wilmington in July. It was 96 degrees with 95% humidity outside.
No.
And they had fans blowing in throughout the entire ship, and I made them shut them off so it didn't screw up our digital recorders.
Right.
So in the underbelly of the 1/4-inch thick steel ship, it was 104 degrees with 95% humidity.
And no air movement.
No air movement. It was miserable.
Yeah, but you got good EVPs.
Oh, we got some great evidence. Yeah, about died doing it.
Those are the ones you remember.
That's right.
We make sacrifices, right? We're either freezing at the Hinsdale house. We froze at the Hinsdale house.
Yeah.
And now, last summer we went to Strauss Mansion in New Jersey, in Atlantic Highlands. It's right on the water. You can see the ships from the top of it and everything.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, it's going to be so lovely. It was 105 degrees that day.
Wow.
You go to the 3rd floor, and you could only stay for a few seconds. Come back down, go back up, do an EVP session, come back down.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
we did that at the USS.
Complaining, right?
Yeah, we did it at the USS North Carolina. They had one room, which used to be like the Admiral's meeting room / cafe where they would eat. And that was the only place on the entire ship that had air. So there was 3 different groups there that night, and we would take turns. We'd go down below deck, and they'd sit up in the air conditioner. And it was funny because everybody coming in was just drenched.
Right. Right.
But it was cool.
I said to Frankie, who designs our T-shirts, I'm like, I think we might need some sleeveless ones for this summer. Maybe not black, make a white one next time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry to interrupt. Just want to say something. Jeff Teflon, yes, we saw your messages and posted many times, so you're good. I can't even respond to you because we're having problem.
Well, he's on Facebook. He would have got it.
Well, it's just temporary.
Well, that's the Yannick's network. So we don't know what YouTube they're on.
Oh, okay.
So he probably saw it. It's okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry.
I don't see him.
So I bet you guys came here to see evidence.
We don't. I should say, so Anthony doesn't get mad at me. I should say that we don't like that E word. We don't use it a lot. It's so funny that you guys, it's part of your name and everything.
Right.
Anthony's like, don't call it evidence. It's an observation. We really kind of qualify things as being either like empirical or anecdotal observations.
Okay.
But if I say the E word, he's like,
So we got to change it to EVPO.
No, it's just the way we think of it. It's not, evidence is evidence. Like we proved, that a ghost is standing there or something like that, and it's more like phenomena or observations, and you can draw conclusions from it, but the things that we document are phenomena.
That's that law enforcement mindset. Evidence is something binding that can be proven in court.
Exactly. You are exactly right. And
I know exactly where he's going with that.
Exactly. So if I said the word evidence, I would hear about it. So let's
Well, you don't have to say it.
You don't have to say it.
You guys can. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
We won't get you in trouble.
We won't get you in trouble, Jenny, I promise.
That's okay.
But I know where he's coming from with that. So I'm going to share my screen so we can zoom in on these pictures instead of having them on StreamYard.
Right. There's Frankie. Holding a REM pod.
There's Frankie. Who's the gentleman behind him?
That's Eddie in our group. And the one with the blue circle on it is Anthony, so no one sees.
Oh, okay.
I think
he's like a really sad Jack-in-the-Box in this picture.
Yeah. It's like Anthony.
Yeah, you should have put the eyes and the smiley face.
And the
I
hat.
know. I thought about that. I did.
That would've been
I
awesome.
did. I didn't do this. Someone else did it, but I think it's funny. I agree. Should have put something on there.
So, Jenny, where was this picture taken?
Okay, so this is at the Ritz Theater where we have our residency. We hold investigations. That's where we met Ron and Lourdes. We invited them and they came, and that was wonderful. And that's where we got introduced to Staticon, really. This is at the theater, and that is an original organ. The theater was built in 1927. That's when it was opened. And so it was an old vaudeville theater. They used to have shows and movies. People from Philadelphia would come. People from New York would come. People from New Jersey would come. Back then, that was it, right, for entertainment. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous theater. Original, almost everything. The murals are original.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Right. So this is in the Ritz Theater, and that's the organ that I mentioned. That's original. And what I wanted to point out is you'll see a proximity rope on the stairs,
Right here.
lighting up. So
Yep.
hopefully you can see that it's lit up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And I just wanted to point that out before we move on to the next. So this is a series of 4 photos taken by one of our members, Albert. He's our team photographer. One of those, always has like the Nikon around his neck kind of guys. He's also a police officer, but he's definitely an expert in photography. He did tell me what camera he used for this, if anybody wants to know, if anybody's technical like that, and what lens. So
Fantastic. What I really like is Frank has a quote by Hans Holzer right on his
that's
shirt.
our shirt, right?
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Can everybody see that?
Kinda.
Kinda.
In all my years of ghost hunting, I've never been afraid. After all, a ghost is only a fellow human being in trouble.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we wear that. I believe it.
There's only one thing I might disagree with Hans.
Mhm.
I don't believe they're all in trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But that was his quote, and I liked it, and we liked it.
That's a fantastic quote. I love it.
Yeah, and we were lucky to get permission to use it.
Oh, that is really cool.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, we asked Alexandra, his daughter, and she gave us permission.
Aw.
Okay, so everybody watching, you can see the proximity sensor right here up on the stairs. You can see that it's lit up by the reflection of light right here on the
Right.
on the
And so
banister.
we followed protocol. You usually take 3 photos, right, or 4 photos in a row. Here's the next one. Frankie just backs up a little, I think. Yep. And we noticed something strange in the corner. Now, as somebody who does that critical thinking, I hate when it's in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate it because you can't see anything else. You know how it is when you see a door open, but you don't see the corner, right? But
Mhm.
in that top right-hand corner, you'll start to see some kind of anomaly, like a mist almost. I don't even like the word mist for this because it's really kind of thick, like cotton.
Yeah.
Which we thought, okay, But then when we saw it change in the next one, we thought, what's that?
This one.
And it's
Well,
right where
here's
the sensor's going off.
Yeah, I want to point something out though. Is if you look really close, so a lot of people are going to go, "Well, was this somebody's picture in the camera?" So if the type of camera he was using, I assumed he used a professional camera,
Yes.
not a phone. So
No.
his finger would have been nowhere near the exposure lens when
No.
it took this photo.
No. No, it's the kind where it's actually the kind where your the lens is out here and your fingers here, like you said.
Yes.
It almost just looks like
It-
a hat,
Yeah. it
hair, forehead,
Right. And it gets even
nose,
more
mouth,
creepy in the next one.
does.
chin.
The audience can't see her.
It's interesting too because see. Oh wait,
Oh, go ahead. I'll bring it back up.
go back to that photo. See the light across the back wall?
Yep.
It literally looks like it's hitting that mist straight on.
Right.
It does. And that light coming in from the back wall would not cause the mist because that light's coming from a doorway down the hallway.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yes. So you can see it. You can see the top of the door here,
Mhm.
and you can see the lights reflecting through. Was there a? I assume there was a window on the door because it doesn't look like the door's open.
It's actually probably coming. There is a window. See that window? You can see the window where Anthony's blue
Right here?
head is. Yeah, there's another window right next to it. Yeah.
And let Anthony know next time you see him. I like his tattoos. They're pretty similar to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that light's coming in from back here, which
Mhm.
would not have caused this.
No, that's
No.
the main theater. That's the main theater, so it's very well lit, obviously. Chandelier.
And it's too far away to cause a lens flare, especially on that kind of a camera.
Right.
So let's go to the next one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it gets even more
I
shaped.
love it. That's a hat. Like Audrey was
Yeah.
saying, it's a hat.
Yeah,
Right
it
there.
looks almost like a man looking towards Eddie with the hat
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That looks like the old brim of like a top hat.
it does.
He's tall too.
Yeah, he is. Or he's floating.
Yeah.
What's intriguing is Frank's almost looking right at
I
him.
know. That's what I was thinking in the picture right before this one. It almost looks like he's looking directly at it.
That's a really interesting photo though, because whatever was in the last one absolutely moved,
Yes.
shaped, kind of
Exactly.
takes on what looks like the side of a face, the neck, the hat.
Yeah.
This looks almost like a collar.
Yeah.
Maybe a collar?
Right.
Possibly.
Like a
Right.
coat.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You
it's
can almost
seconds.
see
I mean, seconds later. Not even. I mean, he just went 1, 2, 3, 4. And Frankie backed up, took another. I mean, seconds between them.
Well, you can almost see it's forming down here also.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that it's in the corner, but still. We all kind of scratched our head. I'm scratching my head now. I was like, what is that?
Well, if they
What is
popped up
that?
straight in the middle of the camera frame, our jobs would be a lot easier.
I know.
Right.
I know.
And
then the
everybody
next
would
one.
be doing it.
That's right.
That's
But
pretty
that's
cool
awesome.
though.
Yeah.
For the next one.
And
I love that he
then
took one more. Yeah, which has made me so happy because then it's gone.
Gone.
Oh, there it is. That's the
Yeah.
side. There's nothing in there.
It's gone.
Yeah.
what's intriguing is they stare at that area the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that he took this last one where it's gone. That made me
Yeah,
happy.
it's completely
that last
clear.
one.
So
Yeah.
all of these are taken in a matter of a few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, besides the first one where Frankie's in the middle, he literally just backed up, and then you can see, look how it's identical. They're standing exactly the same way in the next three.
Well, and the one thing I like about this one too is when I was talking about the lens flare being caused by that light coming in from the door, you can see in this
Yeah.
photo that the light doesn't come across the front of the piano.
You can see the
Right.
shadow in that dish. Right.
Right. So this would not have caused any of that.
No. And I included the one with the proximity rope because we love layers of evidence.
Yes.
I used it. Sorry, Anthony. We love layers. We call it paranormal lasagna because we love. I mean, it adds up, right? We have the sensor going off, and then seconds later we have a mist forming there. So that makes it a little bit more interesting.
Oh, sure. Make it difficult on me, Everett.
I was going to say, can you do that?
I can. It's going to take.
It's almost like someone's looking right back at them. I
Yeah.
agree. And when you think about a lobby, I mean, the activity in the lobby, and when we investigate, I always tell people, don't forget the lobby.
No, Everett, I can't. My screen won't allow me to do it. I can only share one screen at a time, unfortunately. If I could share two at a time, I could do it. But what I can do, yeah, no, it won't let me. Every time I click on the new picture, it lowers the second one, unfortunately.
Right.
All right, Bill Gates, I got something for you to work on here.
Oh, wait.
So there's the last two
Yeah.
side by
That's the
side.
same one.
No, that's the same
Yeah.
one.
But that's what I mean. They're in the same position. It's hard to tell. It was so
Yeah, it won't let me. It won't let me do them side by side unless it's the same one.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a great picture though.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm glad it was there. I'm sorry it was in the corner, but I'm kind of glad it was in the corner as well because that's where we saw so
Well,
much
this is even
activity
more
on the
intriguing
stairs.
because when I zoom out, you actually get more of the figure, and it seems darker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you
What is
guys think? I mean, you see mists, right? But that doesn't seem like a mist to me.
No, that would almost seem like an ectoplasmic blob.
Like an apparition.
Yeah.
I definitely see the side of a man's face.
It sure looks like it. And
Yeah,
to your point, Jenny, you know, when people define things, you know, because there is such a variance in definitions, that's where some of the misconceptions and confusion come from. One person may call that mist. Another person may say, well, it was a smoky sort of. Another one might say, well, you know, it was a cottony formation. So,
I'm
you know,
just gonna get a
it's
drink.
those,
Sorry.
it's those lack of true definitions of what we're talking about, and sometimes add to that inconsistency about what's being explained.
Well, and I've explained this on previous shows too, and I'll try and do this as quickly as I possibly can. As a sensitive, I feel energies, right? And I believe that, I mean, our physical being, it takes energy to pump our heart, right? And if you look at the mechanics of our bodies, there's nothing mechanically involved in flesh and water that should cause technically electricity that pumps our heart. So I believe that our soul and our energy that we call our soul that travels on after our body's done is the energy that transfers. And I truly believe that once we come back, we're all energy, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of paranormal investigators and a lot of shows that you've seen almost say that, like your EMF pump, Tony, that drives me crazy. I can feel from a football field away. I believe that it's them absorbing the energy, like the white noise that you guys use with Staticom, and that's what they use to physically form on this side of the veil so we can see them. So I believe this is stages of the energy that they're using, and they might be pulling the energy from that rope.
Yeah.
Because you're
So sorry, you guys.
Oh, you're okay, Jenny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the proximity sensor is full of energy right here, right? And you can
so are the three people.
And so are the three people, and then they got a REM pod there. They're
Yeah.
wearing all kinds of equipment. So just my opinion, I'm not saying it is fact. I believe that what you're seeing is the stages of energy that whatever was there was trying to communicate, was using to start forming into a solid form.
Could very well
Yeah.
be. Could very well be.
It's very cool.
It is way cool.
Mm-hmm.
How long into the investigation? Is that the question?
That is.
How long into the investigation? Not long. Not long.
Oh, okay.
But we're there a lot, so
Well, and you see that we saw it at Phelps Dodge. We've seen it at the Montgomery House here in North Carolina. The more you're there, the quicker you get responses when you show up because they get familiar with you. It's like family showing up, right?
exactly. And
That's
every
true.
time you go. Right.
Right.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
place had not been investigated before.
Interesting.
Before this investigation, before you guys showed
No,
up.
just before we showed up.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So you guys started the original investigation. So basically, you guys were the first ones to make contact with any spirits or entities in the
Oh,
location.
wow. Nice.
So they're more familiar with you and comfortable with you than anybody else. So you guys are like family.
And Lourdes, come on.
Yeah. So you guys have built a trust with them, which
Yes.
makes sense.
Awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. Setup is, you can get a lot of stuff during
Right.
setup.
I wear a body camera and I put it on in the car and I take it off in the car
Oh, okay.
for that reason.
Well, Audra and I do the same thing with places that we've been to multiple times. The first thing we do, like when Ron, Lourdes, and Tony and Cherie were here for the first time in North Carolina, we took them to Montgomery House. You know, we went through and we did a, hey, introduce you to the house, introduce you to the spirits in the house. We did a walkthrough so they knew the location. We went to dinner, then came back and set up. Normally, when Audra and I do that, we'll set down recorders and then leave, and then come back and do our setup and start the investigation. We've caught more on those recorders when nobody was there, when we first set up, than anything. And then Tony and I have caught, and Audra have caught stuff at the Phelps Dodge Hospital when we were setting up for the investigation.
Yeah. Well, we've let her run overnight too and caught amazing stuff when there's nobody in the building.
Yes.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The other ones.
So credit to Albert on our team. And I do, like, if anyone wants to know, I do have the camera and the lens.
Quarters and buckets. You got it.
Gia, that's right. So tell us about Chrysler Mansion EMP Custom.
Okay. I'm so happy to tell you about this.
Chrysler.
My favorite place. This was bucket list for me. I wanted to go there forever and ever and ever. Finally got to that day. It was an ice storm. I mean, we got there. The windows were rattling. You couldn't do any recording, you know, and nothing, because they were literally just rattling. It was freezing cold. It was loud, but I was determined. I wanted to go to that place for so long. Chrysler Mansion is in Staten Island. It was actually two mansions that were built. They were twins by Balthasar Chrysler. He was a German immigrant. They actually developed the non-flammable bricks for building. So his factory was right across from him, and he looked over it, and he had two sons. He built two mansions for them, one standing. And
the other one burned down, didn't it?
Yep, it burned down. You know the story. This is such a sexy story, but what I love about it is it's modern. We have a modern tragedy, and we have this 1880s, tragedy. We have this late 1800s tragedy. One of the brothers did commit suicide, and in the 2000s, we had a mafia murder that took place there.
Wow. In the 2000s.
2000s. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing building. It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It is. The woods are scary too.
Yeah. As always, people don't think to do the outside, right? I always go outside.
There's lots of stuff outside.
Yes.
Exactly. So I wanted to go there for so long. It's 20 minutes from where I live, so I was going. Ice storm be damned. I was getting in. I got in my friend's Jeep, so we'd be safe. We tried, 4-wheel drive. We got there. And so what we try to do is, if we don't have something, we build it. And when I say we, I don't mean me. I mean Anthony. So what happens is, it's very much like a marriage, right? I say, Anthony, you know what I need? And he's like, what? I said, I need something like a REM pod, but that doesn't look like a REM pod. And he's like, I've got just the thing I've been working on. I actually have it right here. It's called an EMPT box. We call it the empty box. EMPT, the empty box. It's actually electromagnetic proximity and temperature. But what's different about it is, you know how you have a field, right, with a REM pod? So if something breaks the field, see that? Nothing. There's the antenna. So you got to be that close.
Oh, wow.
So what we do is we put a crystal on top for the antenna. That's the actual antenna. Anthony, puts the crystal on top, and it's a wooden box. So now, if you're Mrs. Chrysler, right, in the late 1800s, is this scary to you, or does this look like a music box?
Right.
Yeah.
Does it look like a music box or a
Jewelry box? Yeah.
Right?
That's fantastic.
Right, exactly. That's Anthony. He's great. If I need it, he makes it. I need a vibration sensor, he makes me one. So this is one of my favorite tools in the box. That's why I brought show and tell today.
That's awesome.
It does have an antenna as well. It works the same as the crystal, though, but I prefer the crystal. So we put it on the mantle in the parlor. And I thought, well, this won't be scary. You always wonder, what does this look like to someone from 1880?
Right.
What does this look like? And I thought, well, we'll see. Now, occasionally you get the blip, right? Like I just did. Like you get the, the blip, like that. But we got, when you see this video, I mean, it was like a light show. It was like fireworks.
Oh, cool.
So it was on the mantle of the fireplace in the parlor. If you've been there,
That is,
I know. I told Anthony everyone's going to want one of these now, so be ready.
yes.
Yeah, be
Well,
ready.
Roger made a very good point before we get to the clip. Trigger object mixed,
Right.
built-in REM pop. That's nice.
Precisely.
How many
Roger,
times do we
exactly.
go to an investigation and we take something that looks like this
Right.
and go, hey, that scary thing that you've never seen before, made out of a
Exactly.
material that you've never seen, if you talk into it, we can hear you.
Right.
But if you put something relatable to the time period, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and you can. I mean, he painted it, he stained it, but you really could make it even more so like that.
Right.
It does have obviously temperature. I don't think I said that. So the temperature. So if you hear it at the same time, the temperature is changing. It's something you can document.
That's fantastic. So let's go ahead and play that clip. Tony, start talking because there's something I want to go grab while this clip is playing. I've seen it, guys. Here we go.
Want me to start talking about what?
Whatever you want to talk about, if I'm not back yet.
After the clip.
Okay,
Here we
go.
go.
How about one more time, just so we know you're here with us? One more time, touch it. Thank you. It's strong. That's great. Oh, you really like those lights, huh? Yeah. It looks fun. Hmm?
That was a lot.
That was huge.
Yeah.
So
So
you guys saw me when I touched it. I mean, it just beep, 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 kind of thing. And yeah, we just kind of sat there with our jaws open, dropped.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Really.
Were you going to
really.
Tony?
Well, I just had a couple of questions. There's a blue light that moves around in the shot. Did somebody have some sort of
It was my
pinpointer or
iPhone.
something?
We were just setting up. We put it on the mantle. We weren't even set up yet. It was my iPhone, and I was like, I gotta somehow capture this. That was my iPhone.
And does the organ that it was sitting on still work?
It's the mantle of the fireplace.
It's
I tried to
was
include
that
a
that was
picture
the
for us so you
fireplace?
could sort of get a feeling for where it was, because it was on my iPhone, so you don't have the IR. So yeah, at the beginning, that's just a picture of where it was, so you get an idea of where it was located.
Okay, I thought it was sitting on the organ. Okay,
No,
all right.
it's just, and actually, we did put it on the piano, and it did get hits on there too, but not as strong as this one. I've never had a hit as strong as that. I mean, occasionally we get blip, 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 but
it's crazy.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was actually physically touching the box.
Yeah.
You literally have to, you saw, like, there's no field. You have to touch it, and you have to kind of press on it to make it go back and forth like that. You have to let it go, press, let it go, press, to make that, sort of lights like that go like it did.
Oh.
Wow.
Incredible. Yeah. So it just goes to show you it works. It's familiar. I'm not sure if it would work, in another location, but in that location, it's perfect.
So Gio has a question. That was amazing. Do you think the spirit was amazed?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a typo, Gio?
No,
By the
I
light?
agree. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not terrifying. It's just lights.
Right. I think that the beeping noise probably would have freaked him out more from the 1800s, going, "What the hell is that?"
Right. we tried to have the REM pod on that night, but with the temp, it was freezing and the wind coming through. It just
Can imagine.
And that was so nice because that was too sensitive. So it just went off, and I finally went to throw it out that window. So that's why this was so great, because you literally, it's not about breaking a field, it's about touching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Real quick, guys, I wanted to show you something.
Red bucket.
That's not red. That's orange.
It's red. It's just coming through as orange. So that's what it looks like in an investigation with Chris and Audra.
Okay. That's the bucket.
Yeah.
Now imagine walking through at 4 a.m. in pitch black at Trans-Allegheny, 189,000 square foot building, and you've got to find all your equipment.
Oh, no.
Or
That's
reviewing
smart.
the evidence and having Ron walk up and go, all good.
Yeah.
Christoph.
Pretty stop.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I should have a remote on this thing that I can just find it,
Yeah.
Or
'Cause you can
clap
really
her.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't tell you how many times we've searched with people for their black digital recorder
Right.
in a pitch black building.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't know where my K2 meter is now. I
Home
don't
Depot's
know.
going to run out of
Get them
buckets.
on Amazon, Roger.
Exactly. I think it's a great idea. But yeah, I think if we don't have it, he builds it. And actually, you as a sensitive, you might appreciate this. He actually had me pick the crystal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he gave me a choice of a few crystals, and he said, "Close your eyes or whatever you got to do, and just which one do you feel?" And I was like, "Eeny, meeny, miny." Yeah, I'm like the biggest one.
That's awesome.
Hey, real quick, guys, UNX is going to be switching over to their next audio program in about 2 minutes, but we're going to continue live with Jennie until we get through all of her evidence here on YouTube and Facebook, so stick around with Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. All right, Jennie, let's go to the next one. Betsy Ross House EVPs, and it cuts them off. It says this.
Disembodied voice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Has anyone been there to the Betsy Ross house?
Not yet.
Okay, in Philadelphia. Lots of
Uh-uh.
people go there on a school trip, right? It's like a museum. It is a museum. And so I had very low expectations, one of those museums. But it was a very special thing. Not a lot of people get to investigate there. So Frankie did his magic. That's what he does. He's hard to say no to. And I had a little accent there, like Anthony Simonelli. I was like, hey, forget about it. Well, shout out to Anthony there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he did his magic. We got into the Betsy Ross house. I had very low expectations, and it proved to be true for a little while. We kind of toured it like we were a school group on a bus, They let us go behind the ropes, which was very nice, but
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It was quiet kind of thing until it got dark. And then all of a sudden people were talking, men were laughing, like it wasn't us, like a kind of thing. Like all of a sudden it just came to life, like Night at the Museum. And
Wow.
I mean, the reason I brought this clip, and there's a few different things in the clip, is we had disembodied voices and we had EVPs like you see on, I'm sorry, I'm kind of plain spoken, on fake TV shows. Those kind of EVPs, right? We all know like the sentences that you think, no way, no one's ever gotten that. We always get like, hey, oh, did you hear hello? I hear hello, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you hear on TV, my name is John and I was born in 1911, right? Like you're like, no, that doesn't happen.
Right.
But guess what? It happened, kind of thing. It was the first time I've ever been told to go to bed by a spirit. Yeah, I mean, someone had an attitude. Let's put it that way.
No kidding.
I'm thinking if it was a woman speaking, it was probably Mrs. Lithgow. She owned the building and rented it to Betsy Ross. That's the story. So she had the building. Betsy Ross lived in the building. She slept upstairs every day. She came down, made the flag, worked on the flag, risked her life basically because she would have been probably executed if they found out. So I love thinking about that. Like what a brave woman, right? And I think what happened is Anthony was in her bedroom. I think Anthony was upstairs in her bedroom No one goes there at night. It's a museum. No one investigates it really. And I think she was like, get out, kind of thing. I think there's a man I don't know here in
Right.
the bedroom. And
Which wouldn't have been allowed back then either.
No.
Yeah, and Anthony sure got told to get out in a big way.
Oh,
Right.
So
nice.
this is Anthony's recording, and then some of it is my recording. It starts out with Anthony's EVPs that summarily tell him to get out of her house now and go to bed. And then I have a disembodied man laughing. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Ben Franklin, he was there. I mean, who knows? But there were 4 women on the 3rd floor, and you just hear a guy just laughing at us. I mean, I get it. We're kind of silly, but you'll hear a man laugh at us. And I did put, subtitles because a little bit, EVPs are a bit whispery on this type of program, so you can hear it. But I think it was just unbelievable that we would just walk in the hall and I heard, "I see you there." Like, who said that?
You
kind of
audibly
thing.
heard
Like,
that one?
Yeah. I see
Oh,
you there.
wow.
Okay. Like it was shocking in terms of the quality and the amount of voices we heard after it turned dark. It was like that just turned on. People started talking. This gentleman, you'll hear him. He's like, he just laughs at us. Wow. But I get it. We're funny.
Wow. All right. So here we go.
Yeah. Take a listen.
All right, here we go.
EVP session, Betsy Ross house, kitchen area in the basement. Time is 11:16 p.m.
Can you make us some hot chocolate? I would love a cup.
It's getting late. Maybe a cup of hot chocolate is what we need to perk up a little.
Or to put us to bed, either way. Hot milk.
Was anyone cooking in here?
It's off by my gate. I got the right now. Yeah.
Who hangs out by those stairs?
Could be. It could be motion sensor. Or just security cameras, yeah. Did you just laugh? Like, I heard a lot. Did you hear like, ha ha? I keep hearing something in the other room. Yeah, me too. You're gonna just be careful on the ramp. I'm just gonna go look. Watch the reflections. Did you just whisper? I heard something back there. Did you just whisper? You didn't say like.
Nope, I heard that though.
Yep.
That is nuts.
Yeah, that
That
is
is so awesome.
heard it is crazy.
What?
Yeah.
I would go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But I mean, it's intelligent too. Like, it's late. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was clear too. I mean, it was soft, but it was very clear.
Yeah. I mean,
It must have been the ghost of bedtime past.
It's. I mean, obviously, it's louder in person. When
Right.
you hear it on the recorder, it's very hard in this type of format. But
Right.
I just had to include it because of the quality and quantity of the voices in that place.
Yes.
That's
a
fantastic.
classy
Yeah,
EVP.
pretty neat. Pretty neat. And poor Anthony. He was like, get out of my house.
So there was a good question.
Says I'm here in the bedroom. Yeah, I think there's more voices than I even
Oh.
indicated.
There was another
I
one
agree.
in there.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
What year did she finish the flag? I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I don't know.
Damn it.
I don't know. I just know, like I said, she rented the house. So that bed that you saw, we just started hearing talking, up there, and who knows? We definitely could tell female, male, but you heard that gentleman laughing. You guys probably heard that pretty well.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, we heard
Okay.
that out loud. Like, who's laughing at us?
So here we go. According to Betsy Ross's dates and sequence of events, in May, the Congressional Committee called upon her at her shop. She finished the flag either in late May or early June of 1776. And then in July, the Declaration of Independence was read aloud for the first time at Independence Hall.
Okay.
There you go.
So, yeah. The answer is yes.
The
Yes.
audience wants to hear it one more time.
No, sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
one chance.
Here we go.
EVP session, Betsy Ross house, kitchen area in the basement, time is 11:16 p.m.
Can you make us some hot chocolate? I would love a cup.
It's getting late. Maybe a cup of hot chocolate is what we need to perk up a little.
Or to put us to bed, either way. Hot milk.
Is anyone cooking in here?
Stopped by my gate. And that's what I know. Yeah.
Who hangs out by those stairs?
Could be. It could be motion sensor. Or just security cameras, yeah. No. Did you just laugh? Like, I heard a lot. Did you hear like, ha? I keep hearing something in the other room. Yeah, me too. You're gonna just be careful on the ramp. I'm just gonna go look. Watch the reflections. Did you just whisper? I heard something back there. Did you just whisper? You didn't say like.
Nope, I heard that though.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Way cool.
That's awesome.
Okay. I think there are a lot more voices on that.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
That we didn't indicate, but I mean, especially in the beginning of Anthony's, I feel like I hear something.
There
But
is.
when we played it back live, we actually played that back live in the kitchen. Can you imagine that first one?
No.
I mean, we played it back live right away, and we were, I mean, almost giddy, like in a way. I know that sounds strange. You ever get so excited about
Oh, yeah.
something happening, right? And I mean, we were
Yeah.
almost laughing. I hate to say that, but this was, of course, we left because they said get out. What do you do when they say get out? You get out.
Right.
So
now I have a question, Jenny. Is that the recorder? Is that you guys put that on the stairs? Is that a
no,
stair?
actually, Anthony held that in the kitchen. Just held it up in the kitchen.
Okay.
And his video of it, which it's Anthony's video, is
Yeah, the
just with
reason-
his recorder playing.
Right. The reason why I said, because Tony and I would love to like take EVPs by the stairs, because that's always we get
Always active.
good EVPs.
Well, it's the only way up and down between the floors, and
Yeah.
eventually they're going to either go up or down. So.
Exactly.
Right. And that same thing. I mean, we thought about the activity, people going up and down the stairs. They're very tight there, but I thought about Betsy Ross every morning going down, working
Yeah.
on the
That
flag,
wasn't at Kreischer, though, was it?
That's not Crusher Mansion, right?
I'm sorry,
No, the
this is
Betsy Ross house.
the Betsy Ross house.
Oh, it's
No,
a
that's
different.
Betsy
Yeah.
Ross.
Right.
The fantastic thing about that is you hear, I think it's Anthony says, we need to get some energy. Let's get some hot chocolate. And she goes, no,
Yeah.
go to bed.
Right. Let's go to bed. Go to
You
bed.
don't need
And
energy.
then
Get to sleep.
it's difficult to tell, but that second EVP, the no, is a man.
Yeah.
Out of
Mhm.
nowhere. So like it's this woman the whole time, and then the man goes no. Okay. So it's more than one voice. It's like what?
Huh.
Yeah, there are. I agree that there are a lot more voices there, but that's this. My whole point of the video was just everywhere, voices everywhere, disembodied voices, voices on the recorder, you name it.
Yeah.
More than I've ever heard. And interestingly, that we put in a REM pod in Hannah Lithgow's room, and when Anthony went up towards it, it started. I mean, we didn't go off the whole night, but when Anthony went up towards the bedroom, and that's what our theory is now, that, you know, we don't like Anthony up there at night. So he would go up there and it was going off if they didn't like that. Which I can imagine. I mean, if I were a woman at that time, like there's a stranger and I'm a landlady, get out of my room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That is Wendy Hayes, by the way.
Okay, with no maid suit. They don't bump into anyone. Well, good. They wanted to meet us.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to kick us out.
Well, and I want to point something out about your team too. Is you guys can tell that you're seasoned investigators too, because you see it in a lot of seasoned investigators. New investigators will dig and dig and dig and dig and pull out those Class Bs. You guys pull out your Class As.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a Class A plus, that first one.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
You guys heard the whole sentence, right? Like, get out of my house now. Leave.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And we didn't even hear the leave at first, but when we went back, we're like, it keeps going.
Well, it's clearly a female voice until that no. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I am a big fan of EVPs too. Like I really enjoy that. That kind of interaction. So
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, really cool. Really cool.
Okay, so the next one is Ritz Theater Chaos Box.
Oh, I brought that too.
There you go.
Good box you have.
This is mine. This is my personal chaos box. It's Holte.
That's Holte's, right?
Yeah,
Holte.
Holte.
Holte, of course. The very best. The Holte. Shout out to Holte Paranormal. Check them out. They make amazing devices. Yeah, this is my chaos box. And Dan Clace was our guest that day from the Hinsdale House. And he was in what we call it the rehearsal room. It's one of those rooms that you can imagine in a theater with the mirrors, right? And you imagine dancers in front of it, working on routines, things like that. So the rehearsal room. And the reason I included this clip is it's a couple things. You know, we use these type of devices and we get, you know, clips here and there of voices, but in this clip, you'll hear a woman talking and you'll start to know her voice. Like, you know her. Like, you'll start to hear her voice like you would recognize it on the street now if you heard it. It has such a quality to it. It's the same woman talking for so long. And then a gentleman comes in and talks about Ron and Lourdes, so I had to put that in there.
All right, let's take a listen. Here we go.
Is there somebody rehearsing a dance number here, dance routine? Me.
Okay.
Do you like tap dancing here? Or do you do ballet?
Would you introduce yourself, please? That's it. Did she say just free something, Lisa?
Yeah.
Just like free porn, that's it, or something like that. So just free, kind of free dancing? What's that same voice? Dana.
And Christina or Dana?
Did you hear Christina or Dana? I heard Tina, Dana, something like that.
It was a little low.
Dana. Yeah, Dana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fascinating
Hi,
right
Dana.
now because that male spirit is wearing here. He thought he overpowered her there.
It's usually worse here.
Very, very bad. So I'm surprised that. Thank you for allowing.
Really? He's gone.
Solution.
I thought it said delusion.
Well, we're glad that he's gone so you can communicate with us. Can you tell us your name?
Dana.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Dana.
Freak? Did you say freak? Did you say freak?
Uh-huh.
I
usually get that
you
response
freak?
from spirit.
That is the same voice.
Can you say the name of one of the two people who usually have their equipment here? Would you like to communicate with?
Ron. And the other one. It said like Ron and the other one.
Yeah, Ron and the other one. She's right there. Oh, the guy's on there.
So I'm like,
Poor Lourdes.
Poor Lourdes. The other one.
The other one is back.
But that's awesome, though.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Great communication.
I mean, it felt like you were talking to that woman, and you expected the sound of her voice. You knew the sound of her voice. It was the same person. And I mean, you know, you get a couple words here and there on that usually, but they were sentences and amazing. And that gentleman was so funny. He's Ron and the other one.
So, and the chaos box made by the Holtes, it does a sweep rate, right?
It random. Everything
So
is random. The sweep rate is random. The sweep is random. Everything is random.
So for everybody watching, sweep rate is it's a random sweep rate. So forwards, backwards, at any speed. You shouldn't be getting full sentences.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, not at all. I mean, you get the occasional word, but nothing like that, and so recognizable. Did you guys feel like after a few times she spoke, you knew her voice kind of, you knew what it sounded like? She was
Well,
like,
it seems like there was one female and one male that was communicating back and forth.
exactly.
It was the same two. Yeah.
We have a problem at the Ritz with men who don't let the women speak, and what we do is we just say, can you just listen? We're going to listen to you. Can you just move aside, let the female speak a little bit? And it works.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's why we said, it's amazing that he's letting her speak, and then she said he's gone for real.
So we got to give everybody a notice. Don't ever. So we've got Facebook on this screen, so we can see the comments and who's commenting, just in case they don't show up on the feed and in StreamYard. And the translation, because I have it muted, so it's not playing double, so we don't get an echo. The translation is horrible when you use closed captions on Facebook.
so hopefully we don't get kicked off.
Because one of them said,
So instead of the free form,
it said free porn.
It said free porn.
Oh. That's why you guys are laughing.
That's why she was laughing.
I saw you laughing.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! I hope Frankie's watching right now, because I will tell you this: the Ritz was an adult film theater in the 1970s.
Really?
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. For a while, it kind of deteriorated, became an adult film theater until recently, when the man who owns it now bought it, revived it, and now it's a beautiful theater. They do musicals and plays and everything. But for a while, it was an adult film theater, and we get most evidence that revolves around that time period.
Huh.
Wow, interesting. Roger's next time we switch to Facebook.
It wasn't free, but it was
Wow.
literally. Yeah. Funny. That's funny. I really hope Frankie's watching. He will watch.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I was just there's actually
we
just
talk about
another
that a
one.
lot. Right.
I'm surprised he hasn't commented. He's on here commenting. I haven't seen a
Oh, that's
comment.
funny. Yeah. He must be tired. Like I said, we were at Wilson Castle.
So where did that go out, Chris? In the comments or where?
No, on Facebook, when you have it muted, it comes up in the closed caption.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a.
So as they're speaking,
gotcha.
caption.
Free porn.
Yeah. And there was something else too. What was that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was one other one
We
that
were,
I was
we,
laughing.
were, we were laughing so hard we couldn't do it.
Oh, that's funny. Especially, with the theater.
Yeah.
That's
Well, what's funny
kind of
is
neat that it
Yes.
ties in.
Oh, you have no idea the jokes. That's perfect.
so after almost 30 years paranormal investigating, I don't believe in coincidence anymore.
Okay.
And it's kind of irony that the closed caption said free porn, and you're telling us that it used to be an adult film building.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
It's very interesting. Yep.
Yes, it is.
So as Anthony would say, it was a very specific observation by Facebook.
Yes. Yes. It's paranormal lasagna.
Paranormal lasagna. I'm gonna not go with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, believe me, the jokes, right? I mean, and,
Yeah, I could really run with that one, but I won't.
and I'll go there because Frankie and I went there, but we've played some music out loud, certain kinds of music. Let your mind go there. Try and get some activity.
70s porn theme music, yeah.
We literally Googled it, and you can, find it. 70s porn music.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was all for science, guys.
Well, if you didn't learn anything on EVPE tonight about paranormal, you learned something about how to look up porn music from the 70s. Yes.
Yes. And you learned that Parasite's a lot of fun. Exactly.
Paraporn at its best. Yeah. There we go.
I feel like we should move on.
Yeah. Before Chris gets us kicked off of Facebook.
Yeah.
We've got one more clip, but it was too big for StreamYard, so I'm going to have to share my screen. And I'm going to have to share the audio. This is actually, and we love, we love these. Why won't let me do it?
Staticom.
This is actually a Staticom clip.
Yep.
Which Tony, Ron, Lourdes, and Cherie will be putting out a 3-part documentary on Staticom here pretty soon.
This one is for Tony. This one is for you, Tony.
Very cool. I can't wait to see it.
It is specifically for you.
Awesome.
All right.
After your Mr. Peebles incident.
All right, here we go.
Happens to all of us.
Now, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to talk to this one if we need to, but probably not need to. But here we go.
I'm holding a picture in my hand. Does anyone here know who this is? Can you see it? Did you? Great. Anthony thinks he heard it right after I asked. Could you repeat that, please? Who's in this picture? Do you know her name? Oh, so close. That male voice right there, so close. You know what though? Yeah, it starts to get fuzzy and then it stops. Mitzi! Oh my God, that's her name. Mitzi. Yeah, that was clear. Did you hear it or no? Yeah, I heard it. Mitzi. Thank you. It's Mitzi. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump, but I was too serious. I was like, Frankie. Frankie went.
And there
Oh yeah. There, and Roger says flashback to Frontier Town right there. Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
look at
we
Roger.
heard it. And then all of a sudden we heard it, and everyone went, Mitzi. And they were going, Mitzi, Mitzi. It's
right.
Mitzi. It was Mitzi.
Oh yeah.
But you don't.
Been there, done that. Peebles.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
You had quite a lineup in that room. You had Ron, Lourdes, you had the Holtes, you had Darrow, you had Scott. Scott was there. Wow.
Darrow was there. Scotty, the New Jersey medium.
Yeah.
Was there.
Yeah. That was a good lineup you had in that room.
Fabulous. Yeah, it was a lot of fun that night. It was just so funny. I held up a picture of an actress. She started at 8 years old. Mitzi Groff was her name. And she really was a pioneer in musical comedy. It was like 1917 she was born, so this is a long time ago.
Wow.
She was really young when she started there, and she died in the 2000s, like 2011. She was really old. So yeah. So Mitzi Groff, she performed in English and Yiddish, and I just thought, well, let me hold the picture up and see if someone can tell me who this is, because who's going to say Mitzi? It's it's not a common name.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone said Mitzi, but no one heard it until we listened back. Like Tony said, with the Peebles, and I thought, oh, I feel your pain, and I gotta play this for you.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I mean, finally at the end, it's like Mitzi.
But maybe they didn't know what her name was, because it's a similar situation. None of us knew what word we were listening for.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody did.
And the woman who wrote it, I don't think was paying as close of attention as she should have been, because it was said, oh my God, how many times?
Yeah.
Well, that was me. I was that woman this time, because they said it so many times, but I just didn't hear it clearly. And then when Anthony said I heard it, I did almost hear it. That's what I said. I almost got it. But in the end, it was so clear. Mitzi.
Wow. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. When you go back, that's the amazing thing about Staticam. I mean, we didn't hear it, or we didn't know it was being said until we did the review, and I'm like, Sheree, every other word is Peebles.
That's why I wanted to show you exactly, and that just goes to show you that you need to record it.
Oh, absolutely.
Always record it and listen back.
Of course, yeah.
But it's a testament to Staticom. My goodness, like nobody knew but Anthony and I who that was, and I didn't say anything. But who is this?
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
What's even more interesting is her last name's Groff.
Right. It is interesting. Another connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Nick's great aunt.
Nick's great aunt. Great grandmother.
Could be. But yeah, I had to have a Staticon clip. We have had a lot. Rick, Ron, and Lourdes there several times, and we've had amazing success. I think Frankie mentioned an experiment where we put a word downstairs in the lobby, and we said, what word is it? And he heard it clearly, which is my favorite experiment. That's just never gets old, does it?
No, that's so cool.
What was fantastic is when Ron and Lourdes and Tony and Sheree were here and we did the Montgomery house, I gave Tony one of these hats. And we asked, what's on Tony's hat? And we didn't say it. It repeated, stay haunted.
Loud and clear. You know what? We haven't even shown that. I got to go back and find that. Yeah, it is loud and clear. Stay haunted.
Amazing.
Well, what's crazy is we still have more evidence that we haven't even gone through yet for that.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
And we had 2 shows on it. Jeez.
I know.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we have so much with Staticom at the Ritz, but I just thought that when I saw Mr. Peebles, Tony, I was like, I gotta show you. I feel your pain. It was like, Mitzi.
Yeah. Well, but it speaks to what Staticom can do and the intelligence behind the answers. Like you said, you and one other person maybe even knew what that girl's first name was, but yet the answer was said, 10 times in that clip? So
yeah.
What's amazing is the correlation between the 2 clips, because if you saw Tony's Frontier Town clip, everybody in the audience is like, and then you look at your clip and they're doing the same thing. They're like,
Right. I don't know. What am I hearing? But yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Tony, can you answer that question for Everett?
I don't know if it's been explained before, but what is the difference between Staticom and regular live listening? Well, the only difference is the method under which Staticom functions. So if you're talking about live listening from a spirit box, or whether you're talking live listening to EVP, the difference is in the mechanisms under which they're captured. EVP is record and review, meaning the recorder plays, and you don't usually get to review the entire session until you're back home and you back it up and replay it. Live listening from a spirit box is done very similar to live listening of Staticom, but the main difference is that even in a spirit box, you'll have people that go back after, try to clean it up, try to take noise out. Staticom does it all live in the moment. It cleans it up. It slows it down. meaning it takes live white noise and slows it to 40-50% of its normal speed so that we can hear the conversations coming through at the moment, and the words aren't jumbled into a mess of speech that's too quick for either the ears or the brain to process. So I hope that answers your question.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, and Everett, also to add to what Tony's saying, what I've experienced too is watching Tony and Cherie and Ron and Lourdes do the Staticom is the Staticom, the white noise generated by the white noise generator that they use before they filter it out with the Staticom software that they use, is it gives them the vocal cords that they would need to communicate. That
In a sense, I mean, it's stochastic resonance, meaning that they'll use the white noise to whatever hertz they use to speak. And everyone always says, well, what hertz are they speaking at? They're all over the boards, from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. We can't control that. We don't know where they're coming in at. That's the advantage to using broadband white noise spectrum. But we get a beholdening of the voice over the static. So you get a increase in signal and a decrease in noise ratio. So it's stochastic resonance, where their voice becomes more prominent than anything else in the audio arena that you're listening to, and their voice comes through at the top.
It's like you meet new friends through Staticom. We meet new friends every time we investigate a new location.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a good point, because even in that rehearsal room, and I mentioned that no one had investigated before. So when we gave them a voice, it was, I actually found myself the first time saying, one at a time, please.
Yeah.
Because it was like, wait, they can hear us. You know, we can communicate with them, and we've been here forever, since 1927 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So suddenly everybody was at once, and on Staticom we were like, okay, one at a time.
Well, and I firmly believe as a sensitive too, like when Ron kicked on the Staticom when we did the Montgomery house, we knew of certain spirits that were always there at the Montgomery house because we've investigated it so many times and we picked them up so many different times. Same voices, same spirits, same feelings, same everything. Staticom not only introduces a way for the spirits that are in the location to communicate, but it actually draws spirits in that aren't there.
Right.
Yeah.
It like opens a door for communication and they come in. I mean, I told these guys when we started Staticom at the Montgomery house, it was like somebody opened the gates to Disneyland on free day.
Yeah, or the payphone in a prison.
Right. Payphone in a prison on conjugal visit day. Right?
We can keep going with this. I like
it. Yeah. I mean, I literally had to, the energy was so strong, I literally had to leave and go outside.
Right.
Yeah,
because I couldn't take it. It was so, it's a hard feeling to describe. I literally had to go outside.
It is
very.
I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not as sensitive, and I said, what's your name? And it was like, Jamie, Phil, Linda, like, okay, okay. If I was overwhelmed, you really must have been.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. But come to the Ritz. Jennie. Come to the Ritz Theater. You're all invited officially.
Thank you.
We have reached that point in the show, Jennie, that you've seen so many times, but now it's your turn. Shameless plugs. Where can they find your group? Where can they find you, Anthony, and Frank, and whoever else is in the group? Where can they find ParaSight Paranormal, and where are you guys at? Where are you going next?
Yep, where are you heading next?
Next is, we're the only ones not going to Gettysburg. We're going to be at the Shanley Hotel this weekend. I've never been there. I'm the only one, I think. I've never been there. So I've never
been there. No.
Okay. See, we need Ron and Lourdes. They go all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like they live there part time.
They do.
So I'll have to talk to them about that. But that's our next adventure. And then Trans-Allegheny in August for Frankie's birthday trip.
Nice.
Have you guys done it before?
I have not been to Trans-Allegheny, no.
You are going to love it.
We've been there twice, so.
That's what Mr. Forget About It says.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hold on, I just want to answer Scott's question. He's asking if I think that there might be something to the 1.6 gigahertz signal unveiled at Skinwalker Ranch, and could that frequency be adapted to Staticom? Oof. You know, absolutely, it could be. I mean, Staticom, for all we know, could pick it up and translate it into voices. But the first question is I can't remember, and I know that they've caught that signal many times, what kind of signal it is, whether it's a radio signal, whether it's, because Staticom doesn't do anything with radio signals. Staticom only deals with white noise. But considering it is a 1.6 gigahertz signal, and that is available, 1.6 gigahertz is available within broadband white noise, that's a good question. I'm not sure how it would react, what it would do, but hey, if you can get us on Skinwalker Ranch to test it, I'm there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bring it. Yeah.
You want to talk about Chris's bucket list?
Right.
Right.
Skinwalker Ranch. Chris is in love with Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, that's a lot of people's bucket list.
Yes.
But Trans-Allegheny was Frankie's bucket list, like Kreischer mentioned was mine. And Frankie's birthday is in August, so he and I, are going to Trans-Allegheny.
You guys are doing a private, just the two of you?
It's just the two of us. I think there are some others going to be there. So,
okay.
But from our team, it'll just be the two of us.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's pretty much private there, isn't it? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. So when you do the group investigation,
40 is max.
They do up to 40 people, but it's 10 per floor, and then every 2 hours you move to the next floor.
Perfect. That's fine. That's fine.
And
but it'll just be Frankie and me.
Yeah, we did that one the first time, and then the second time we did a private with 15 people.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Take your walking shoes, girl.
Yeah, I'm ready.
189,000 square feet, 4 floors, and no elevators.
Wow. 1
bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And take snacks. They have wild raccoons that come out of the basement at night. You can feed.
Bring food. But Frankie always brings food. He's the only one I know at Hinsdale House. It was a Sunday night. He was like, "It's pasta night." He made pasta at Hinsdale House and literally sat at the table with like a big dinner. I was like, "Oh,
that's awesome."
So let us help you. 4th floor, 1st floor. Hopefully they get you into the lobotomy section because that one is phenomenal.
Okay.
It wasn't open the first time we did it, but when we did the private, they opened it up for us.
Nice.
Don't stick to the hot spots except for Dean's room.
Okay.
Dean's room and the 4th floor where the creeper are fantastic.
It's so good to get advice. And Anthony Simonelli showed me a bunch of stuff too. He had a lot of video he showed me.
Yes. It is a fantastic location. I can tell you, other than Phelps Dodge Mining Hospital, we can't get into anymore. Trans-Allegheny is my top.
Really?
I saw 3 shadow figures in less than 1 minute for the first time ever.
You're gonna have to have us back on.
Yes. When you guys get Trans-Allegheny evidence, come on back.
You're gonna have Anthony on next and have him blacked out in that blue circle.
The Jack in the Box circle.
You don't know us very well. I'll put the Jack in the Box head over his face.
Yeah.
So we can...
Please do.
I'm gonna have to.
My little brothers.
Oh yeah, the Violent Women's Ward.
Yeah, the Violent Women's Ward is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go down there as a woman. Send the men down by themselves.
Okay.
So I got an EVP of a woman banging, wanting to be let out. We got cat calls. We got whistles. Wow. When me and Mike Bennett and Zach Bennett walked down by ourselves, we got proposed to many times. But the minute the women go down there, they quiet down.
Interesting. Okay, so send Frankie down. Okay.
Send Frankie down.
Great advice. This is so good advice. If anybody has advice, you know where to find me.
But Lily's room is fantastic, but it's over investigated.
Okay. That's my concern with so many places lately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think she becomes really quiet, like she's over it sometimes.
Yes. But I can tell you the group one is, we got more It almost like the spirits love
The energy.
of multiple people.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Did you see that comment?
Yeah.
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
Classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I can't get to it.
Great location, fantastic location.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it. It's just the two of us, so it should be an adventure. It always is.
It'll be fun.
We have
Definitely
fun.
take your walking shoes though, because man, it wears you out.
Yep.
Ready. I'm gonna get in shape.
Yeah, they didn't like Evan on the Violet Women's Ward. They didn't want him to come down at all.
Poor Everett.
All right, guys, it was fantastic having everybody on. It was more than fantastic having Jennie on. We've been looking forward to having you on for a while now.
It was so much
Great.
fun to meet you guys.
Very much fun to me. I wish you guys were going to be at Gettysburg Bash this weekend, but we will next year.
Me too. And
Next year?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's done. It's a done deal. I already
Next year, the
told
Rathmans will be there if I have to time to the bumper of my truck.
I will
We will be there.
next year. We will all be there next year. And next Monday, I'll be on my couch with my ice cream, watching you guys. It's my ritual.
Awesome. Thank
That
you.
is awesome.
Every Monday night. Thanks so
Jennie, you
much.
came on. You gave us some great evidence from ParaSight. Great investigators. You, Frank, and I'm sure Anthony is too. Unfortunately, we can't have him on because I don't know if we can block his face out. But
You can. You
guys
can.
have-
You can have his face, just not his last name.
That's
Call
fine.
him Anthony Mystery.
Anthony
He's like a
Mystery.
super spy.
But fantastic group of people. Ron and Lourdes talked nothing but great things about you, and from what we're learning from you, they were absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Graham.
much.
I agree.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And guys, thanks for coming out. We will be back again next week, same time, same channel, same people. Hopefully, Ron and Lourdes will be back and they won't be tired.
Yes.
She's got a week to sleep.
We've got a week to sleep, but they got Gettysburg next week with us.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
There's no way it's happening then. Sheree, it'll be you and I next week.
Okay.
And me with my ice cream, watching you.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Ice cream.
Yep, definitely. Enjoy Gettysburg, and best of luck there. Enjoy it.
We will.
Yeah, thank
you guys.
All right, guys, remember, if you want to come on to EVP, you want to see great evidence, you want to see fantastic people like Jennie and her team from ParaSight, you've got to watch EVPE every Monday night. But most of all, guys, you got to stay haunted. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?